Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it and back at it again. You found the last bastion of great talk radio. It's Tom and Steve on The Local Show.
Yeah, that's it.
I've been waiting for this segment for forever.
To talk to me?
Yes, not to talk to you.
Okay.
No, to talk to somebody who really has some sort of intelligence. And that's Dr. Joseph Barry. He is the owner of Signature MD, and he's also heard here on the radio on 570 WSYR and 106.9 FM on Sundays at noon. His show is called Your Health Matters. And he's the one who actually got me through the pandemic. And I was listening to him one Sunday, and I said, I got to go to this guy. So I dumped my doctor, Dr. Zhivago, and ended up coming over to Dr. Barry. And
I can't believe you said yes after meeting
well,
him.
Trust me, I had to slip him a couple of Benjamins to get in,
yeah.
but I got there.
Benzos. I don't know if money would work.
Dr. Barry, how are you?
I'm doing great, Tom. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for being on the radio in general. But seriously, he got me through because he seemed to be talking sense, and that was something that was missing from my medical health, at least that I could see. Dr. Barry, give us a little bit of your background for people who don't know where you came from and why you started.
Well, I'm a local boy. I was born and raised in Camillus, went to West Genesee High School.
Oh, okay.
Then I went to Cornell. Then I went to Downstate Medical Center in Brooklyn. And then I finished my training with my residency in St. Elizabeth's Hospital in Boston.
Golly.
Then in 1987, I came back here to work with my dad, who was a physician. And it's been downhill ever since.
I didn't realize your father was a physician.
My father was a doctor, as was my mother.
No kidding.
She was a pediatrician, and after the sixth child, she said, you know what, I've got enough work here. I'm not going to see anyone else.
6 kids.
Yeah.
Isn't that something else? Any of your brothers and sisters doctors as well?
My sister Brenda's a gynecologist in Florida, so we say she's almost a doctor.
In Italian, we say that's a gynecologista.
Yeah, okay.
There we go. All right. So you have a practice that is unique. It's called Signature MD. Explain what Signature MD is.
Well, Signature MD is a concierge practice. So I had the timidity, the balls of the giant condor to change my practice. Up till now, I had been doing whatever the problem was. Here's a pill. It was fee-for-service medicine. And a company came to me and said, are you satisfied? Are you happy with your life? And I said, well, I'm delighted with my home life. I've got a wife that loves me. I got kids that are alive and unindicted. But I am not happy at work. I was seeing people every 15 minutes. I wasn't doing what I was put on this earth to do, which was to try and change lives and improve health. People weren't quitting smoking. People weren't losing weight. I was putting bandages on their symptoms, not going after the underlying problem. So this company said, well, if you go a concierge practice, if you have the nerve to charge more, you can give people extra time and maybe make a difference. So that's what concierge practice is.
How long ago was that?
That was 7.5 years ago.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So the concierge idea is charge people extra. You could drive a Honda or you could drive a Maserati. You can fly economy or you can fly first class. And the idea that in medicine you only had one level of service, well, the insurance companies were happy with it, but I don't think people were. And if there's an option to pay a little more and get better care, or presumably better care, that's what I wanted to do. So I could have worked in the hospital, could have gone to the nursing home, hospice care, could have gone back to teaching, could have taken one of those lucrative jobs with Blue Cross Blue Shield, as an assistant vice president.
Right.
But I said, no, I love patient care. And this company said, well, transition, in the old sense of transition.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And then there's a bunch of other doctors that do concierge medicine in Syracuse. I'd say 6 or 8 now.
Yeah.
But what made my practice unique is that I said, if I'm going to charge people extra, other than have a nicer waiting room and a short wait and more time with the doctor, I better up my game. I better be bringing them more medical information than the average doctor does. And so that got me into a deep dive into really the fundamental issues of ill health, which, not a huge surprise, what came down to our lifestyle. It's
Right.
what you eat and what you do and how you think and how you sleep. And so now that's what I focus on. And I don't have as many illness visits. I get the ill people in, but I really focus on wellness with my patients now. As I tell people, your doctor is an expert at illness. He can give you a pill for blood pressure and cholesterol and your diabetes and your migraines, but he's not going to say, well, what's causing the migraines? Why is your stomach upset? Why is your blood pressure high? And that's what I'm working on.
Yeah.
Let's get to the root
So
cause.
you have a different philosophy to practice than 90% of the folks out there. Is that fair?
No, I'd say it's more like 95.
Okay.
And it's,
All right.
I
Okay.
agree.
It really hurts me. I mean, my profession is in very deep trouble. The primary caregivers, it's hard to get in. You call up, you got a headache, we'll see you at Christmas time.
Right.
No, I'm having belly pain. Then go to the ER. That's not the way it's supposed to be. But primary care is at the lowest rung of the totem pole. I see these other professions, the dermatologists, the cardiologists. They're not changing lives. They're not making impact on people, and yet they get twice my salary. Now, don't feel bad for doctors. I'm making a good living. But my profession is, they don't want to challenge authority. Whatever the government says cholesterol's bad, well, cholesterol must be bad, even though cholesterol's in breast milk. Cholesterol is one of the 4 fundamental fats in your brain. How can cholesterol be bad? Hypertension, they keep changing the rules so that sooner or later, everyone's going to have
Do
hypertension.
other doctors dislike you?
I don't think I'm loved.
Well, you're loved by me.
It's a serious question, right?
I don't care because
I love the answer.
My wife loves me. Now, I've had on the radio a specialist in immunology, mold allergy, environmental health, Dr. Sherry Rogers, and she was practicing here in Syracuse 25 years ago. And when she was in town, I said, "There's Dr. Rogers. I respect what she's doing, but she's fringy. She's on the fringe. Mold and environmental allergies, that's fringy stuff." Now I understand I'm on the fringe. But I didn't realize that she was way ahead of her time. And I'm not saying I'm ahead of my time because there's so many other people in America talking about things. Dr. Gundry, Dr. Mercola, Ivor Cummings. There's just so many people. They're just not here in Syracuse.
Yeah. Let me ask you a pointed question because we're limited on time, and I could definitely talk to you for 2 hours. Can you talk about COVID? Are you allowed to?
Yes.
Okay.
Here's why. I don't have a platform. You
Yeah.
can't deplatform me. I don't work for the hospital. I'm not worried about what the people think behind me.
We love that, by the way.
Well, it's specifically about, where we are now with this virus, what's going on now, and will we ever have a foolproof solution to eradicate it?
We'll never have a foolproof solution. We're dealing with nature, and this is just another virus. I know it was vilified, and people were afraid, and I think that in Washington, they were afraid because they knew very well this was a manufactured virus.
Yes.
We paid for it. We had it done in China. It got loose, and so imagine you're in Washington. Geez, we're paying the Chinese extra money to, militarize this virus, and now it's gotten loose. Why wouldn't they expect millions to die? But it turns out, because of nature, even an artificially made virus is going to be subjected to the natural Gumper's curve in terms of wave infections, and we just blew it completely out of proportion. We don't know how to take it back. No one in Washington can say, you know what, we were frightened, we made a mistake, our bad, we've learned a lesson. They haven't learned a lesson. More virus vaccines are being rolled out, more masks, more limited your distance, more mandates. That's the exact wrong way to go. It turns out that less than 1% of people passed away. It was mostly the infirmed and the elderly. The people that wrote the Great Barrington Declaration, the doctor from Oxford, from Stanford, from Harvard, were vilified for saying, just protect the elderly and let's go on with our lives.
Love your passion to speak your heart and the truth. And I'm glad you're doing that.
Thank you so much for being here, Dr. Barry. I'm going to say it. I love the man.
Yeah,
I really do. I'm a mess. I still have to keep going with him. But anyway, thank you. And you have a great rest of the day.
Thanks very much.
You got it. Kicking off hour number 2 of the local show, we will have conversations with Jim Nosek. He's the owner of Aniela's Vineyards. And then Neil Carr will stop by, Vice President of Prime Heating and Air. Sheila Ostrom, owner of Senior Home Care and Alzheimer's Solutions, along with her friend, Lorraine, I think it's Parkalap, who's a paralegal from
Absolutely.
Safe Harbor Wills and Trust. And then Jeff Rogers, owner of Angry Smokehouse and Angry Garlic, here on the show. Stick around. Hour number 2 of The Local Show starts really soon.